Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Whitlock and Wiley, TJ Houshmandzadeh and Rich Orenberger are back. Let's move to Antonio Brown, whose public meltdown continues after posting a video of himself berating police and the mother of his children. AB was dropped by agent Drew Rosenhaus yesterday, and today the troubled receiver posted a screenshot of text messages between Rosenhaus and himself. The messages offer of help from Rosenhaus, but AB added a couple of captions writing, quote, "Agent boy been fraud, set me up with a lot of bad workers, put me in this position," and quote, "They try to tell you they help when you paying them." All right, does this post make AB or Drew Rosenhaus look good?
Nope, neither one of them looks good. One, this is the same old AB. He's gonna chew through his friends until they're his enemies. He does it all the time. Did it with Big Ben, did it with Juju, did it with Mayock, did it with Gruden, did it with Kraft, and now here you go, Drew. Welcome to the other side, the dark side, when you talk about AB. So nothing there. Drew looks like a guy who just basically said, go get some help, because right now you can't help me. Conditionally, I would have more respect if he would have just dropped AB. Hey, you crossed my business ethics line. You know what? You as a person, I can't deal with. Get yourself some help, help yourself, and then help your career. But I can't be on board with that anymore. But the conditional part and the timing of it, because it's just right now fashionable to get on AB's case and criticize him. And you were a guy who was deeply invested in him personally, not just financially. I don't like that timing. It looks fraud, so neither one of them looks good.
I agree with you. This makes both parties look absolutely awful, but Drew Rosenhaus made a business decision. He runs a business. His business is representing talent, and right now he looks as AB and he says, how much is this talent going to bring as far as business goes? Now, there's pros and cons to this. Positive side, he's not tethered to a star who's about to go supernova and turn into a black hole and drag people into the abyss with him. However, the con is the negative public relations this brings to the table. Now you have clients who are looking over the fence saying, what if I'm struggling? What if I'm out of league? What if I go through some issues with my baby mama and my agent's just gonna turn his back on me? So that is the pros and cons of making a business decision and a difficult one, but that's exactly what this is as far as I'm concerned.
We're all in the same boat. It makes neither one look good, but for me, it makes Drew look the worst. You spend, because I feel sorry for AB at this point. Nothing he does now is gonna surprise me. And I feel sorry for him because when you put me in this position, I've been around Chad. Chad was represented by Drew. And there's things, and Chad, why you signing this deal? Drew said, we're gonna get another deal in another year. I'm like, Chad, that's not gonna happen. So, and if they don't give you a deal, we gonna force our way to get a deal. So I know those conversations have taken place. So I'm sure he was the battery pack being Drew Rosenhaus saying, AB, let's just do this. And AB listened to him. So now when I need you the most, and yes, I'm sure he's giving AB advice and he's not listening to it. Conditionally, you know what that means? You can't make me no money right now, so I ain't dealing with you. But as soon as you can make me some money, I'll come right back to you. If I'm a player, I don't want Drew Rosenhaus as my agent now because of this. Just get rid of him. Sever the relationship. We're not working together. But when he's at his worst, you're going to leave him. And the sad part is, if you cross Antonio Brown, he's just going to fire shots at you now. And that's the part that I feel sorry about because I believe he's done playing football. I don't believe anybody's going to sign him because he's not listening to anybody. Drew, you should have stood by him, and this would have just boiled over. He wouldn't have played again. It would have been it.
I'm glad you all have gone after Drew Rosenhaus. It saves me the trouble, and it frees me to actually defend him in this case. I've been a longtime critic of Drew Rosenhaus. On this deal here, though, I just can't do it. I read the text, and I actually did think, okay, this kind of confirms what I thought what Drew Rosenhaus was doing. You can't be someone's agent if they're not taking any of your advice. All you are is just, you might as well be Siri. You're not his agent. You're just someone that's just talking at AB. And I don't he's sitting here saying, look, man, I'm going to help you with your grievances with the Patriots and the Raiders and blah, blah, blah. But to me, if you're actually close to AB, you're sitting there like, golly, this guy is self-destructing at a rapid pace. What can I do to potentially shake him up and snap him out of this? And I think Drew just got to that point where, like, I got to pull away and maybe something will click. Because you just start grasping at straws. What can I do? And so I think this is Drew's attempt to do something. If I walk away, maybe that'll be the final straw, and AB will snap out of it and realize he needs, because I'm sure AB's dad, his mom, family, friends, whatever, everybody's trying something. This is just Drew's the trimp.
I don't feel that. I really think that this is him making a attempt in court of public opinion to get some good attention from it. Like, it's bad to be in business with AB, so let me jump on that boat and say I'm not in business with AB anymore. But I'm still gonna work on the grievances with you. But if you go get some help, which AB already said he's getting help. I don't know if it's working or not. Obviously, it doesn't look too good. But AB's been on record saying he is getting mental health adjusted and issues taken care of.
I got some help at McDonald's yesterday.
Hey, bro, look, I had piece of help. Look. Hey, it takes its time.
But it felt good.
But you know what's serious about that, even though you say that? Look, I go to a therapist every week. It's just like physical health. You start bench pressing for 6 months, you're doing the pencil test. The pencil's still falling down. You ain't got no muscles yet. It takes time to dig and to give, if you're AB in these moments, to whoever you're working with as a therapist. But this situation, Drew, talking about I'm still gonna work with you, and I may work with you again, but right now I can't mess with you because public opinion. That's sad.
You know what? The fact that you're getting mental health, right? That you're going and you're seeing somebody, I think is something that all former players at one point or another or continually throughout their post-career should do. Because this is a rough transition. When you go from a lot of hand-holding to none at all, and you go from humble beginnings like most of us to sudden wealth, life changes. It gets turned on its ear. And I think this is a rough transition, and we're seeing it played out loud in living color because AB's got Instagram Live and every other avenue that is paying attention to him. And that's his problem, but also it's a cry for help. I think he needs help grieving the loss of his career potentially and moving on from all this hand-holding he's received.
All right, stay right where you are. In 20 minutes, I'll have the most fearless take of the day. I'll tell you why I wasn't surprised by baseball's cheating scandal. But first, Odell Beckham Jr.'s antics at the national championship game have stirred up quite a debate. We'll settle it once and for all. Next! Speak for Yourself is presented by Hyundai. Whitlock and Wiley, TJ Houshmandzadeh, and Rich Ornberger are back. All right, Darnell's off today. He's off to see the 49ers playoff game. Uncle Jimmy's filling in with his question of the day. A little bit afraid here. Uncle Jimmy, take it away.
Well, listen here, man.
Yeah.
Rumor is that last night, Uncle Jimmy went viral across the internet.
Did you?
Yeah, well, look, Uncle Jimmy been going viral since I've been about 11, 12 years old, so I ain't never had no problem with my virality. You know, if you don't believe me, ask the Blue M&Ms. They can testify to it. But anyway, listen. We talking about this LSU security guard that Odell Beckham slapped on the butt.
Yeah.
And they say that it spread across the internet like a case of gonorrhea. And I had that in the Marines in '63, and it wasn't too nice, but anyway, I want y'all to take a listen to what I had to say about this yesterday. Now, we can defend these millionaire athletes, but I guess the law enforcement officer making $40,000 a year, he ain't got no rights when he's doing his job. Only the millionaires are protected, right?
You make a point.
No, I mean, I'm just asking y'all a question. 2 years ago, wasn't I that security guard?
Yes, you were.
That's viral.
All right, guys.
That went viral.
Listen here. I need to know, and I want y'all to tell that. Let's be honest. What would the reaction be if the roles was reversed and the security guard had smacked Odell Jr. on the butt?
Odell Jr.
What would happen if it was switched around and he smacked Odell?
Well, I think the conversation would be completely different. I think that's a fair question. And I think people would be talking about how out of line the police officer was. And if Odell pressed charges, I don't think anybody would complain because, you know, we do love to beat up law enforcement in today's media environment.
I think if the tables were turned, this would be the first time I heard about it because it would be a non-story. Because Odell Beckham, because of the media clout chase, has fueled this where the criticism or punishment doesn't fit the crime. If a security guard, which is not a public servant, which is not a police officer.
Why is a security guard not a public servant?
Just because of title. I don't know.
But his job is to serve the public.
His job is to serve the private entity, private security guard.
The man's job is to protect and serve.
You're a sheriff. Respect that. I'm respecting that. But this security guard, if he were to hit Odell Beckham Jr., one, this would have got lost in the championship experience. Oh, he's in on the parade. He's in on the party. So that's how that would have first been received. And even the security guard sworn a testimony of oath said this: I got hit Monday night, and then Wednesday morning, because of what I saw on the internet and I realized who it was, I decided to press charges. So that is a little bit of the ambulance chase. A little bit of the celebrity kicked in, and he said, let me take a piece of this back in return for him embarrassing me. So if the tables were turned, maybe not a conversation at all.
But I look at this from the standpoint of both sides. Odell Beckham Jr. got caught up in the moment, and he did something silly. You keep your hands to yourself. Guy, girl, armed guard or not, there's no place for it in society. Take a step into the shoes of the security guard. That's a guy who's not being paid anywhere near what Odell is. He's working a job. It's high nerves. It's a national championship job. Game, and then all of a sudden, smoke detectors are going off because guys are enjoying cigars in the locker room, and they say, hey, Johnny, get in there and tell them to all put their cigars out. You know what Johnny, the security guard's doing? Oh, my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm going to go in there and tell them to put their cigars out? And then Odell Beckham Jr. makes it infinitely more difficult to do his job because he stripped him of any authority. It's just one of those plays where I think in this situation, it wasn't the guy with the gun on the hip with the power. Odell Beckham Jr. is in a locker room full of his peers. He's the highest paid man in that room, and he took advantage of a situation and got too caught up in the celebration.
What would be the reaction if he slapped Odell? The reaction would be however Odell approached it. Now, if you smack Odell and he turns around and the security guard is confrontational with the smack, then that reaction can go bad. If the energy of the security guard is we're having fun,
right,
I think it's water under the bridge, water off a duck's back. It's not a big deal. And so looking at that clip, Odell was drunk.
Lit.
He was drunk and he was having fun. Did he go too far? Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. But now with the security guard pressing charges, come on, man. There's nothing wrong with you. If anything, you were embarrassed. And if that's the case, Odell Beckham should apologize for embarrassing him.
Let's be clear here, though. He made a complaint. The state presses the charges. The state has the right to say, nah, there's nothing here. And again, that's why I go to, there's a lot of video of OBJ at this game. And it's clear he's out of pocket. We got pictures of him with his hands on one of the little dance line college girls. There's video of him taking the megaphone from the band director.
Dead wrong for that.
All that wrong.
He's wrong.
He's wrong for taking the megaphone, but he ain't wrong for touching the person. What the hell wrong with y'all? So what, the megaphone got press charges? He can grab a human being's ass, but he can... Come on, man.
We didn't say he wasn't wrong.
We said this wouldn't be the story. We said it wouldn't be the story.
But again, I think with the security guard, trust me, I believe, just my years as a journalist, the state, the people in power around Louisiana is like, this guy was completely out of line all night. Drunk on the sidelines. Now he's done some action that have caused the NCAA to come down here and start asking questions. That's basically like calling the police down to your neighborhood. Nobody likes a snitch. This is the ultimate epitome of dry snitching. Then he's got his hands on a Gold Line girl. He's taking the megaphone from the band director and shouting out. He's drunk and out of control, and people in Louisiana are trying to shake this dude up in some kind of way. So I think they asked us, what can we do? How can we damage his brand in some way and shake him up and make this a bad scenario for him, because it was working for him as a social media play and brand building, and they got this guy to do this. But again, to Uncle Jimmy's point and question about would the reaction be different if a security guard or anybody in uniform slapped Odell on the butt, unwanted attention, hell yes, the reaction would be different. There's just no question about it. Everybody, the race cards would be being played, the whole 9 yards, and Odell Beckham Jr. could, if he pressed charges, didn't press charges, no one would complain one way or the other. You just can't, look, you can't put your hands on people. If a little boy can't touch Russell Westbrook on a basketball court and everybody says Westbrook can scold him and the little boy's out of line, blah, 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 then, hell, a grown man slapping another grown man while he's doing his job because the smoke detectors went off.
But it really depends on the body language. Like, if it's a confrontational, like, I'm not defending and saying, oh, Odell was, like, handing out the money. Dumb. If you really want to give guys money, do it in the locker room when ain't no cameras around, if you really want to give it to them. But this incident here, it was...
How many times I done slapped you back there, backstage, in the butt, say, good show?
And if I turn around and see your body language ain't threatening, I'm gonna be like...
And my body language like, ha ha! It don't matter, man. That's your butt. My hand ain't got no business on your butt. My hand ain't got no business on your body.
Adrenaline after my school just won a national championship is different than backstage.
And you know what's wrong about this? It's because we're trying to imply that there's going to be favorable treatment for Odell when actually in this context, his celebrity is coming back to haunt him. As you even laid it out, we have to give his brand, his antics, some medicine because he's bringing us a headache. So this whole implication or us trying to say that since the security guard makes $40K, that we should respect him less. That's not true. And we shouldn't have him have a higher likability because he makes less and he's doing a common job, which I catch a lot of people trying to do in code language. Just like with Odell being a millionaire, you shouldn't respect him more and you shouldn't like him less. And that's the conversation I think underlying
I like Rich's point, though. Odell has all the power, all of it, all the
Whatever
money
you gave him.
in that situation. It's his home court, his LSU locker room. And again, I do judge people on how they treat people that allegedly are beneath them or allegedly in service to them or in a position where they have less power than you. And Odell Beckham mocked this dude. And again, if you go tie all of his behavior, from putting his hands on a little girl to taking the megaphone, that was an entitled millionaire walking around drunk, treating everybody like I'm Odell Beckham Jr. and how dare you try to prevent me from doing anything. And I don't blame the people in Louisiana who actually probably care about Odell taking some action trying to shake him up.
Nephew, can I say this real quick?
We gotta go. No, we gotta go.
I go viral now.
Why not?
Forget Alex Cora and Jose Altuve.
Please.
I'll tell you why society is to blame for baseball's cheating scandal. The most fearless take of the day. Speak for Yourself is presented by Hyundai.